Alrighty, welcome to Happy Stretch. I'm so glad that you could make it today. Our intention for class today is to learn the art of living in gratitude. So the core of our yoga practice is mindfulness. And um, when we start to really dive into our yoga practice and really learn about our yoga practice, we're also simultaneously learning about the philosophy of living moment to moment, day to day. And when you add living in appreciation to this, well, each day just gets better and better. Gratitude is the beautiful mindful meditation practice of appreciation. Personally, I love to practice gratitude during my yoga practice. And that's because when we're moving through asana or posture, moving from pose to pose, our body, the miracle of our body, is at the forefront of our attention. And so there's this beautiful opportunity there to appreciate the body, to express our deepest gratitude for being alive, being in the body, and having an amazing brain, an incredibly intelligent brain, and to tune into the breath, which is our vital force. So with that said, we're going to start with a nice heart centering breath practice that will help to move us into the heart center. And I'm going to guide you through a little visual meditation practice for tuning into our own innate capabilities for appreciation and gratitude. We're going to start lying down, so you might want to set yourself up in a really comfortable way using a blanket. You might want to grab a couple of blocks to support your body. So I'm going to give you some options of what you could do. Okay? So right now I'm sitting on a yoga blanket, and I'm going to actually use this to lie down onto in a little bit of supported reclined position. Okay, so you can lie onto a blanket like this, or you could get a couch cushion, or if you happen to have a bolster, you might want to lie down onto that. And then I've got two blocks, which I'm going to use for reclined bound angle pose. And with reclined bound angle pose, the soles of the feet come together, and the knees open up out to the side. Okay, so it's like a little reclined butterfly position. You can use the blocks beneath your knees to help to support the weight of the legs. You can also do this without blocks. If you're feeling comfortable without blocks or without supports, that's okay too. And if you happen to just be lying straight down onto the ground and you want to just keep your legs straight, that's also a great option. Essentially, I just want you to find what feels really good here, what's going to allow you to soften your body, relax your limbs, your legs, and your arms. Okay, so once you find a position that feels right for you, let's roll the palms open. Let your fingers relax. Let your shoulders soften. And then gently close over the eyes. Now take a nice full breath in through your nose, filling up your ribs and your chest and your belly with breath. And then part your lips and exhale nice and slow through the mouth. And then just return to a nice gentle breath for a few moments. Noticing where you feel the breath the most in your body. Noticing the way your body is resting on the ground. And just letting yourself become really present in this moment Just relaxing your back, letting your shoulders be nice and heavy. And then let's take another deep breath in together, breathing in through your nose. Just filling yourself up to a comfortable capacity. And then slowly exhale so you can feel all the sensations of the breath again as it leaves your body. Let this exhale be a point of surrender for you, knowing that each and every long exhale that you take really tunes you into your own physiological response for relaxation. And then just return again to that gentle breath, easy breath. And if you can soften your eyes a bit, relax your jaw. Just allowing yourself to arrive in this moment. And now I want you to take one hand and place it onto your heart or somewhere near that. It can be anywhere on the torso, near the heart center that's comfortable for you. And I want you to imagine now that you're breathing into this space. As you breathe in, feel your chest expand, your ribs, the rise of your chest and heart. And as you exhale, feel the natural fall, the natural release of the ribs, of the chest and the heart. And perhaps as you rest your heart here, your hand here on your body, you can even detect the beat of your heart. And now I'd like you to bring to mind an uncomplicated relationship. This is a relationship that you have where it's very easy to connect with feelings of love, of joy, appreciation. This can be anybody that comes to mind. And for me, it's my dog, my little dog, Maddie. The moment I think about her, I'm just immediately flooded with feelings of happiness. So choose someone or something in your life that the moment you think about it, it just floods you with feelings of joy, love, appreciation. And just keep your hand right there on your heart. And just keep noticing what happens in the body as you bring this uncomplicated relationship to mind. Notice if there's a smile on your face, a kind of turning of the corners of the mouth upward, even the corners of the eyes. Notice if there's a temperature change. Does the body start to feel warm? Kind of filled with warm fuzzies, as my mom used to say, warm fuzzies. And can you even feel maybe a smile in the back of the throat? What about a smile in the heart? And keep feeling and focusing on the sensations in your body. What you're discovering as you continue to think about this person or this place or this pet. Just letting any memories come to mind that you want to express your deepest appreciation for. Perhaps it's something they said or the way they make you feel. And just take a moment now, keep that image in mind, and just send that deep appreciation, that gratitude, straight from your heart towards that person, that place, that pet, towards that image in your mind. And then bring your attention back to your body. Just noticing your hand over your heart. Noticing your breath, the way that your ribs are expanding and contracting with your breathing. And then go ahead and open up both of your arms out to the side. And just go ahead and stretch your arms here. If your knees are open out to the side, go ahead and bring them together and straighten your legs out onto the floor. And then let's go ahead and take the arms up overhead. And we're just going to stretch a little bit here. Okay, and as you start to wake up the body here and open up the arms and shoulders and legs, I want you to now see if you can carry this feeling of gratitude that you just connected with, that you've deeply connected with and cultivated within yourself. I want you to see if you can carry it with you now throughout the rest of the practice as we put our attention onto our body, onto ourself. And now let's release the arms and bring them all the way down. If you were using blocks, go ahead and set them off to the side. And I'd like you to bend your knees now. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. And just give yourself a nice reassuring hug here. And go ahead and circle the right ankle around a couple of times. In one direction and then the other. Just noticing the movement of your ankle and your toes. And then let's stretch the left leg back out onto the floor. And we're going to point and flex the feet. Just getting a nice stretch here, perhaps in your calf, the top of the foot. Okay, and then let's place both feet back down onto the floor with the knees bent. And then switch sides. So bringing your left knee in towards your chest now. And giving this side a nice hug as well. Just gently hugging the knee in towards your body. Now let's circle the left foot around a few times in one direction and then the other. Keeping your attention down at your ankle, your toes. See if you could spread your toes. Nice job. Now let's stretch the right leg back out onto the floor. And we're going to point and flex the feet. Beautiful work. Now let's hug both knees in towards the chest. For a little double knee to chest pose. Nice stretch for the lower back. And we'll rock a little bit side to side. Good work. And now keeping the knees together, start to circle the knees around together. You're making one nice big circle with both legs at the same time. And noticing the back of your hips, your tailbone and back of your pelvis, gently rubbing on the earth. And then go ahead and reverse, just feeling the nice massage here against the earth. Beautiful work. Good. And now bring your knees back to center. And you've got a choice now. You can either roll to one side and press up, or you're welcome to hold the backs of your legs and use your legs for momentum as you rock and roll your way up to a seat. I'm going to choose to just roll to one side and press on up. For me, in my body, that's a little kinder. So I'm going to choose kindness today. My teacher, Ashley, she used to always say that in her classes. Always choose kindness when practicing your asana, your yoga. I love that. It really stuck with me. And I appreciate her for teaching me that. Okay, so here we are. We're going to come to a comfortable seated position. And we're going to bring our soles of our feet back together for a seated version of bound angle pose. Okay, so once you've got the soles of the feet together, I thought we'd keep our attention down at our feet for a few moments and just give them a little bit of love. Okay, so go ahead and place your thumbs right inside the soles of the feet, and then just hold anywhere that feels comfortable, the tops of the feet. And you're going to use your thumbs to gently massage your arches. So one of my favorite parts of myself to appreciate in my yoga practice is my feet. When I think about my feet, I'm reminded of all of the places that I've been, in my life. National parks, the beach, school, my friends' homes, my family's homes, just all the places that I've been to and traveled to in my life that are special. My feet took me there one step at a time. And so, they're really not made of much. They're just bones and like skin and tissues and somehow these little things, they're not very big, right? Feet are small in comparison to the rest of the body. These little things somehow manage to carry everything that is me, this whole vessel, from point A to point B every single day. Okay, so you might do the same here, just giving your feet a little bit of love. Probably feels good, especially if we haven't moved much today, or if we've been standing or doing a lot of walking. This might feel really good. Okay, and now let's do one of my favorite stretches for the toes. So I want you to just bring your right heel in towards your body, and then go ahead and lift your left knee up. And what you're going to do is you're going to spread your toes apart, and you're going to stick your fingers, each finger, in between the toes. Okay? If this is your first time doing this with me, it might feel really strange. And if it does, you're doing it right. Okay? If you are somebody who has gone to get a pedicure before, this is going to feel familiar. It's going to feel like the little sponges that go between the toes to separate them apart. Okay, so once you've got your fingers in between each toe, then what I want you to do is relax your hand and squeeze your toes around your fingers. It might hurt a little bit. There's sort of sensitive area there in between the toes. And just gently squeeze and hold, and then relax your feet, and now squeeze your hand. Okay, so you're actually squeezing your foot inside your hand, and you're just going to hold. And then you're going to do that again. So you're going to relax your hand and squeeze your toes. So it's like you're making a little fist with your toes. And then relax your foot and squeeze your hand. So you're really squeezing your foot. Good. Okay, and now release. Just pull your fingers out. And now I want you to do something really fun. I want you to stretch your legs out and look at your feet. Okay, take a look at the foot you just treated. Okay, your left foot and compare it to your right foot. And just notice if there's some subtle differences between color, temperature, sensation. Maybe one feels a little lighter, a little heavier, warmer, colder. And then give your toes a little wiggle so you can really like feel into them again. And let's do the other side. Okay, so pull your left heel in, bend your right knee enough so that you can reach and grab a hold of your toes. I tend to be a really cold person. My feet and my hands run really cold, and this always warms my feet up. Gets that blood flowing into the places that I guess don't get a lot of circulation for me. This is also just great if you happen to do a lot of hiking or rock climbing or anything where the toes get really squished together. This is an awesome thing to do for your feet. Okay, so once you've got your fingers all plugged in there, go ahead and do the squeeze and release. Squeeze your toes. And then squeeze your hand. And squeeze your toes. And squeeze your hand. Good. And after you've done that a couple of times, go ahead and remove your fingers and straighten your legs out in front of you once again, and then take a look at your feet and notice if there's a difference still, or do they feel more or less the same. And then give them another little wiggle here. Beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together one more time for bound angle pose. And let's go ahead and take a little forward fold here. So once you've got your feet together, bring your hands to the earth and just lower your body down over your legs. Go only as far as feels comfortable. And just spend a few moments breathing down into your legs and feet, your hips, your back. Just gently releasing, letting go of any tension in the body. Okay, and then let's lift ourselves all the way back up, nice and slow. We'll bring our knees together, and then we're going to come right onto our hands and knees. So we're going to move into our asana practice now. So you can place, if you were sitting on something, go ahead and place it off to the side. And let's bring our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees right underneath our hips. And we're going to start with some nice cat-cow. So as you breathe in, go ahead and lift your head, lift your heart, lift your tailbone. Think about breathing into your heart center again. And then exhale, perhaps exhaling through the back of your heart. Just imagining that your breath is leaving between your shoulder blades. And as you inhale, think about perhaps breathing in through the front of your chest. And then exhaling through your back body. Now, if that visualization doesn't work for you, that's okay. You can just breathe and think about the breath through the nose or through the mouth. Just taking a few more rounds here, waking up the spine. Just gently releasing the back, the shoulders, the neck. And then come on back to center. Take your two big toes to touch and walk your knees apart a little bit wider than your hips. And go ahead and step your left hand towards the center of your mat. And you're going to reach your right arm up into the air for a nice tabletop twist. Let your ribs rotate open towards the right side of your mat. As you exhale, bring your right hand back down. And then switch sides. Nice big twist here. Let's do one more on each side. So opening up the ribs and shoulders, the beautiful heart space. Just noticing the back of your body here, the sensations in your back and shoulders. Maybe something nice is happening there. All right, and then come on back to center once you do both sides. And bring your knees towards one another again. So they're about the hip distance position again. You're going to tuck your toes here. And you're going to start to sit your hips back towards your heels. Lift your knees and come to stand onto your feet for standing forward fold pose. Now, as you come to standing forward fold, feel free to walk your feet apart a little wider than your hips for some extra space if you'd like. Have your toes pointing more or less straight forward. And then give your knees a nice little bend here. Let's hold on to opposite elbows and just sway a little side to side. Bring your attention to your legs. Feel your feet firmly rooted into the earth. Legs are strong. Hinging forward at the frontal hip creases and letting your upper body just hang here. Relax your neck and shoulders. Breathe. Good. Now release your arms and let's bend our knees quite generously, and we're going to roll our way up nice and slow. Let your shoulders and then your head be the last thing to lift. Good, my friends. Okay, once you're up, I want you to find the center of your yoga mat and come to stand in mountain pose. Face the short edge of your yoga mat. Scratch that. Face the long edge of your yoga mat. We're going to be standing with the legs wide, so you'll want to have that space on either side of you to step your feet apart. Okay, but before we go there, let's start in mountain pose. We're going to have our feet together, our arms by your sides. I want you to just stand in a mountain pose that brings a sense of confidence. You could close your eyes if you want. What would that be like to stand and feel just incredibly self-confident? Just feeling into your worth, feeling into your uniqueness, your one-of-a-kindness. Just taking a moment to remember that there's only one you and that you are an intrinsic part of this tapestry that is our planet. You're an important part of our ecosystem. Without you, the world would not be the same. I want you to take a nice big breath into that. Reach your arms all the way up. You're going to interlace your fingers with the exception of your first finger and thumb. So it's like you're making a little 007 gun. You're just pointing your first finger and thumb straight up as you keep reaching, and then go ahead and spread your toes and lift your toes. And just imagine moving up, up, up like a rocket shooting towards the moon. Now let your toes come back down one at a time and then lean towards the right. Side bend. Feel how strong your legs are, your feet are rooted. Coming back to center. And then bending to the left. There's a popular yoga saying, I bend so I don't break. I think that's cute. And then coming back to center. And we're going to go ahead and take the arms out to the side like a big T now. Feel free to take a big exhale here. Now spread your fingers wide. Go ahead and step your feet apart so that you're in this nice big star shape now. This is Star Asana. Keep spreading through your fingers. Lift your toes again. And really energize through your whole body here. Take a big breath in. Good. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring your palms together at your heart center. And we're going to narrow our stance and turn our toes out. So heels in, toes out for goddess pose or temple pose. And then I want you to go ahead and bend your knees and sink your hips towards the earth. See if you can keep your spine long, your shoulders over your hips, head over your shoulders. And stay here and breathe. Feel into your power, just how very capable you are. Feel into the determination and courage it takes to practice yoga, to do your practice every day or once a week or however many times you choose is right for you. One more deep breath into this posture, goddess pose or temple pose. And then go ahead and straighten through your legs. Let's take the arms out to the side again. We're going to turn the feet so that they're parallel now. And then let's go ahead and turn that whole right leg out. So the toes are pointed towards the short edge of the mat. And you're going to angle your back foot in. Bend your right knee to come into warrior two pose. I want you to soften your shoulders. If your arms are getting tired here, feel free to bend your elbows, turn your palms to face up. Take a few moments to breathe here. How wonderful it is to be in warrior two pose today. On your next breath in, let's reverse our warrior. Let's take the right arm up, left arm down, stretch the side of the body again. Feel free to sink a little deeper into that front knee if it feels okay in the hips. Good. And then return to warrior two. Go ahead and straighten through your front leg and prepare for triangle pose. We're going to reach way over that front leg. Bring the hand down to the shin bone, the ankle, or maybe the floor. And take that left arm straight up into the air for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Couple of breaths here. Good. Bend into your front knee again. Lift yourself all the way back up to warrior two. And then straighten through your legs and pivot your feet so that they're parallel again. Relax your arms. Let's step our feet together once again. Back to mountain pose. Back to embodying that feeling of confidence, self-appreciation here. Let's take a big breath in and reach our arms up again, stretching, lifting, lengthening. We're going to lean towards the right again, side bend. Empty your breath. And then come back through center and lean towards the left again, emptying the breath. Good. Coming all the way back to center once again. Taking the arms out to the side like a T. Step your feet apart for star pose. Take a big breath in here. Breathing into your heart, into your lungs. Good. And then narrow your stance now as you bring your hands to your heart for goddess pose. Toes turn out, heels turn in, and then sit your hips. Let yourself sway a little side to side here. Good. Couple of breaths here. Maybe, just maybe we can go a little deeper in the hips. Listen to your body though. Do what feels right. Good. And then straighten your legs. Open up the arms again and pivot your feet so they're parallel. And now turn your whole left leg out. Angle your back foot in, setting up for warrior two here on the second side. As you bend into your front knee, you might check and just see that you can still see your big toe. Lift your heart, soften your shoulders. Just breathe. Now, reverse your warrior. Reach your left arm up. Take your right arm down. Breathe into your side body again. Beautiful. And then return to warrior two. Now straighten through your front leg and prepare for triangle pose. Really push the earth away with your feet And then start to lean over your front leg. You're actually hinging at that front hip crease. And then taking your left hand down to your leg, right arm up into the air. Think about your spine here. See if you can keep it long. One more breath. And then bend into your front knee. Lift yourself back up to warrior two. And straighten through your front leg. And pivot your feet, coming back to star pose. And then stepping your feet together back to mountain pose. Take a nice big breath in here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And now take your palms together at your heart. And go ahead and shift your weight to your left foot. And let's just stand into the left leg for a moment. Go ahead and bend your right knee, just barely balancing onto your toes. Slowly start to lift that foot away from the earth. And then let the knee open up out to the side and place the foot for tree pose. Resting here with your breath. Tree pose. And if you sway, that's okay, because trees sway. Some days are a little windier than others, right? What can we appreciate right now about this moment, just as it is? And then let's bring that knee back to center. And we're going to go ahead and set the foot down. And we'll switch to the other side, shifting to the right, bending into that left knee. Just barely balancing on the toes there for a moment before we lift off. And keep thinking up as you lift your foot. And turn the leg out. And place the foot. And let it land wherever it lands today. And breathe. Maybe bring a little smile to the face. A little smiling meditation never hurt no one. Notice how when we smile during our practice, the effect that it has on our practice. And then letting the knee come back to center and setting both feet down. Beautiful. Now let's step the feet just a little bit wider than the hips. And we're going to take a couple of little standing twists. Let's just release for a moment. Let your arms swing back and forth. Let your knees bounce. Let your breath flow. Beautiful breath. Good, my friends. And we're going to let ourselves come back to center. Now, you can stand at the top of your yoga mat. We'll find mountain pose here. And let's take a nice big breath in. Reach our arms all the way up above our head. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge forward at the hips. Dive forward as we come down to standing forward fold pose. And now as you breathe in, I want you to slide your hands up your shin bones towards your knees. Lift yourself into a half standing forward fold. And then as you exhale, go ahead and bend your knees, plant your palms, and let's step the feet back and come into plank pose. Now, as you come into plank pose, you've got the option to keep the knees lifted, legs straight, or you can lower the knees down for a modified version. We're going to stay here for a breath or two, just building some nice strength in our arms, chest, abdominals. I'm going to take one more breath. And then as you exhale, make your way into a downward facing dog. Press the earth away, lift the hips up, and then start to pedal your feet. Spread your palms against the earth. Keep straightening through your arms, lift your hips up. Good. And then go ahead and let your knees come down and make your way into a child's pose. Two big toes touch, knees come a little wider than your hips. And then let your head come down. And spend a few moments here in humble adoration of yourself. Take a moment to just feel your body. Breathing gentle waves of appreciation into every cell. Good, my friends. And now let's come on up and we're going to swing our legs around so that we can come back onto our backs. Okay, so feel free to bring that pillow or blanket to lie down onto. And as you come down onto your back, take your feet apart and then let your knees come into touch for constructive resting pose. Let your arms open up out to the side. Take a nice big breath here. And as you breathe out, you're going to cross your arms over your body for hug asana. As you hug yourself, just take a moment to just feel that wrap of your arms around your beautiful body. You know, the hands are the motor organ of the heart. They're very healing. Anytime we can place the hands on the body, it's a very intimate thing to do. You can think of your hands as a portal for heart healing. Wherever you place your hands is where you can send some deep self-love. And then go ahead and release. Let your arms relax onto the floor for a moment. And I'd like you to just spend a few moments here, just resting in awareness. Just letting your eyes be soft, relaxing your cheeks. Let your shoulders be heavy. Let your arms and legs surrender. Now, go ahead and separate your knees and have your feet wider than your hips. And then just go ahead and drop your knees over to the right for a very gentle twist. Now you can keep the left leg just as it is if that feels good, if you're getting a nice stretch somewhere. If you want to explore something a little more for the left leg, you might walk your left heel towards your bum a little bit. If it feels like too much, creating too much resistance in the body, maybe in the knee or the hip, then return that foot to its starting position and let that be enough. And then place your right hand onto your chest, maybe somewhere over the left shoulder or over the left side of your chest. And just take a moment to connect with the beat of your heart again. Just feel the breath as it moves in and out. One of the most poetic things about the body, in my opinion, is the heart. Did you know that your lungs, that one lung is slightly larger than the other? The left lung has a little divot in it. It's a little smaller. And right in that divot is where your heart rests. And so every time you take a breath in, you are lifting your own heart up. And every time you take a breath out, your heart just snuggles, gets all warm and cozy back into your body. And you might take a moment to just be here, just appreciating the design team. Just how perfect the body is. And then feel free to release your right hand down. And gently bring your knees back to center. And drop them over towards the left, nice and soft. And feel free to play here with walking that right heel in towards the bum a little bit if you want to, or not. Just really honoring and respecting your body's boundaries. And then we'll place our left hand now over onto our right side of our chest. And just tuning back into the heart again. And the beautiful movement of the lungs as they expand and contract. And did you know that there's this thin layer of muscle called your diaphragm, and it rests like a hammock just below your lungs, in between the lungs and the digestive organs. Your diaphragm is like 90% responsible, give or take a few percentages, for your breathing. Because of your diaphragm, your lungs expand and contract. Your abdominal organs expand and contract, and oxygen flows in and out of your body. How beautiful is that? It looks probably something like a jellyfish. When it expands, it moves up like a parachute, goes up towards your heart. And then when it releases, it moves down and it spreads down towards your belly. Kind of moves in the same way that a jellyfish moves. And then as you're ready to, you can release your left arm and bring your knees back to center. And then let your knees come into touch again. So your legs and your hips can rest in your back. And then go ahead and wrap your arms again if you want to. Back into hug asana. You might consider putting the opposite arm on top. It's the non-dominant one. Probably the one that you don't intuitively just put on the top. The other one. Let your arms be heavy again. Just breathe. This is a great way to release the muscles along the back of your body. Space in between your shoulder blades. And then let's go ahead and release out of Hagasana. Let our arms open back up. Now, if you happen to be laying on a blanket or a bolster, I want you to just gently roll to one side and pull it out from underneath you. So you're just on your back now. And then if you'd like, you can use that as a prop for supported bridge pose. I'm going to be using one of my yoga blocks. You can also do bridge pose unsupported. Okay, bridge pose is a wonderful pose. It's strengthening for your back, the hips, the back of the hips. It's strengthening for the legs. And it really opens up the front of the shoulders and chest. It really helps to free up the heart space. Okay, so let your feet be about the distance of the hips, maybe slightly wider, maybe slightly more narrow. Just find what feels good. And then go ahead and let your arms just be by your sides. You can roll your palms open. And I want you to just start to press into your feet so you can feel your glutes and your legs start to fire up. And then go ahead and press down. Lift your hips. Squeeze your glutes. I'm going to stick a block underneath my pelvis. I want to go for something more supportive today. Now, if you're choosing to go unsupported, then just stay here and breathe. You're welcome to keep your shoulders just as they are, shoulder blades apart. Or you can tuck your shoulders underneath you a bit. Bring your shoulder blades together. That'll give you something a little more across the chest muscles, shoulders. Relax your eyes and just keep breathing. Now, if you're in the unsupported version, stay as long as you like. You can come down whenever you're ready to. And if you're in the supported version, well, it's a little easier to stay longer. But wherever you're at, I want you to just keep breathing. Breathe in a relaxed way. Let your breath flow in and out of the heart. Good. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and come down now. Remove any supports from underneath you. Let your shoulder blades come apart. And just lower all the way back down to the earth. Go ahead and straighten both of your legs out onto the floor. And let your arms just be by your sides. Let your palms open up. Let your legs be heavy. And just take a moment to surrender here into Shavasana. Deep resting pose. And as you take a breath in, I want you to imagine that your breath is starting at your feet and it's moving up your body like a blanket being pulled up. And as you get to the top of your shoulders, your arms are covered, your shoulders are covered in this blanket of breath. I want you to imagine that it has some weight to it. So that as you exhale, it's like a weighted blanket being placed over your body. Let yourself be nourished and comforted and made to feel very safe by the blanket of your breath. And then while you're here, I'd like you to identify one thing about yourself that you love. What's one thing about yourself that you appreciate, that you just love? And let yourself receive the gift of gratitude from yourself to yourself. As we learned, we are completely capable of feeling love and expressing it towards another. As we practice this more and more, connecting to our own abilities for appreciation and compassion and love towards others, it becomes so obvious how very important it is that we are able to offer this to ourselves. And now, my friends, go ahead and gently deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And let's take the arms straight up into the air and roll the wrists a couple of times. And then we'll stretch the arms up above the head and maybe just let the elbows bend. Clasp a hold of your fingers. Take a moment to just be here. And then as you're ready to, you're going to go ahead and roll to one side again. And gently make your way up to a seat. And I'd like you to sit comfortably, my friends, and just let your hands rest into your lap. Close your eyes. And I'd like to invite you to silently say thank you to everybody who's attended this class in this last hour. Just silently send a thank you to them for being here. For sharing their practice, for sharing their energy with us. And then I'd like to thank you for being here, for sharing your practice and your beautiful energy. We'll go ahead and bring our palms together now in front of our heart in Anjali Mudra. And we'll close our practice with an Om. So if you'd like to join, take a nice deep breath in. Namaste. Thank you, my friends. Just gonna put my little earbuds away.